Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back or welcome to my podcast, Rewire to Inspire. I'm your host, Jessie Brown, and I am so excited to be jumping on the microphone with you all for episode number 211. If you missed my last episode, number 210, we talked about 10 reasons why you overthink, 10 reasons why you are an overthinker. You tend to spiral in your thoughts and catastrophize, and you overanalyze every situation. And so I wanted to provide you guys with 10 reasons in which where that can surface from, to hopefully, with the goal, give you guys the permission to be a little more gentle on yourself. And jumping on the microphone today, I have kind of that same similar energy. I was talking to my partner this morning and I'm like, I just want to go to one of those rooms where you break stuff. You just throw things at the wall, you smash stuff, and you just get energy out of your body. And I'm like, I'm not what you would refer to as like a toxic angry. Like, I'm not resentful or feeling hatred. I'm just feeling a lot of passion and frustration, and just, I can feel it in my heart space, and I can feel myself just at a point of uncertainty, but leading towards clarity. And I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I'm just like, I'm ready to step into the new. I'm ready to leave behind anything no longer serving me and just have a new cleanse. I'm in this heart space of, am I doing what I'm doing because it feels right and in alignment, or am I doing what I'm doing the way I'm doing it because I've been consistent and that's the way that I feel it should be? My podcast is even a great example of that. I know I want to change some things about my podcast because it's just not giving me that same spark. And as someone who is spiritual and very energetic, I know that when things, you feel resistance against them, you're not going to attract any type of results in return. You're going to be attracting the same frequency in which you're putting out. And I know that I've been feeling that on my podcast. And to bring it back to you, because as always, my episodes aren't about me, but I like to speak from how I'm feeling in the hopes of mirroring that onto you to allow you to contemplate. Is there anything in your life right now that you feel like has just become a pattern? It's just become a cycle. It's just become second nature. But is it actually serving you? Is it fulfilling you in any way? Is it bringing you purpose? Is it bringing you joy? Is it bringing you passion? Taking a step back from life and just analyzing. Look around you. Look at how many of us have become so robotic. We do the same routines every single day. We talk to the same people every single day. We go through the motions. Then the weekend hits. And then once the weekend hits, maybe we do something a little bit different. You know, we go crazy, we go wild. And then Monday hits and we do the same cycle again. And it's no wonder why so many of us are feeling depleted and tired, and our mental health is off the charts, and we're all struggling. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm doing the exact same thing. I was sitting in the bath last night and I got into a very, very creative headspace, and I just started writing on my phone. I used to do pen and paper in the bath, and then it just ended up getting destroyed. So I'm like, I'm just going to go on notes on my phone and start typing. And I ended up getting into such a deep state of flow that I ended up writing 3 to 4 pages worth of notes. And I realized that I was pouring out of my heart, and I got into flow because it was in alignment. And I hadn't felt that way in such a long time. And it just brought me to question for myself, when you feel resistance with things in your life, there's likely a part of you that it's feeling resistance for a reason. When you have uncertainty around things, when you're hesitant towards things, there's a reason for that. There can either A, be a protector there that is trying to keep you safe, right? It's like, I don't want to jump into this because I'm scared. But the other part of the equation is, maybe it's because it's not meant for you. I shared this with the story of a job that I had applied for. The reason in which I was so uncertain and it wasn't clear to me is because I now know that it's because it wasn't meant for me. That wasn't the path I was supposed to go on. And so I was feeling all this resistance around me in every direction that I turned. But what happens is when we get stuck in that state, in that contemplation state, we almost become paralyzed. We stay stagnant. But what if we become so stagnant that we are just reiterating the same cycles for ourselves? I want you to just pick a area of your life. Maybe it's your relationship, maybe it's your job, maybe it's fitness, maybe it's money, maybe it's, with an activity or a habit. Yeah. Yes, a habit, not a hobby. Yes, a habit in your life. Sorry. And I want you to ask yourself, have I become stagnant? Am I just repeating the same cycles for myself? Are these cycles serving me, or have they just become repetitive? Is there a part of you that is so hesitant to reach outside of that because you're scared to fall? You're scared to fail. You're scared of the unknown. Coming back to me writing in the bath, I kept realizing in that moment, how much maybe I don't love to always write, but how there's a part of me that's like, you're supposed to be doing this. The creativity that poured out of me is something that I've been sincerely missing. I love coming on here and doing different episodes such as, my last one, 10 reasons you overthink and 3 reasons why you do this and 5 ways to blah, blah. But I don't know anymore if that's actually my heart speaking or just a part of me that's like, I need to check the box of doing 2 episodes a week. And all this is very vulnerable and uncomfortable for me to share because I love my podcast. I love it so much, and I never plan on ending being a podcaster or a speaker. However, I need to be okay with taking those leaps to shift what I'm doing if it doesn't feel right anymore, if it's not fun anymore, right? You see that all the time with influencers and YouTubers and even movie stars, right? They pivot what they do, and sometimes they lose certain people, but then they attract new people. It's okay to get to a block, a creative block, and it's important to view it as you've outgrown something. The last 210 episodes have taught me so much. And things in your life, again, your job, a relationship, the gym, fitness, money, whatever, where you are at with that, you have likely learned so much. But maybe you're at a place where you've outgrown how you once did it. And at one point in your life, that was brand new, and there was new obstacles and new challenges, and it was exciting. But if things are no longer exciting for you, if things are no longer challenging to you or spark joy or spark creativity, momentum, flow, that is a part of you energetically that's like, something needs to shift. Something needs to pivot. And we don't have to know all the answers. You don't need to know what is next. But leaning into my favorite word in the whole world, curiosity. Asking for signs if that's something that you're into, seeking clarity, thinking outside of your regular thoughts. I had a moment this morning where I noticed the same negative thoughts surfacing in my brain like they always do, and I noticed them, but I recognized that I've stopped challenging them. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was all about signs in which you need to rewire your brain. And naturally, my podcast being called Rewire to Inspire, all about rewiring the brain, I was very drawn to it. And the things that he was listing of signs that you need to rewire your brain, I'm like, shit. Those are all me. Every single one of them is me. I've become a victim again of my own thoughts. And that's why I always say in my speeches about rewiring our brain, it's a never-ending journey. Growth is a never-ending journey. It's okay if you've gotten to a place in your life right now where there is resistance towards something, you are stuck in something, you're uncertain about something, congratulations. Because that means that you've outgrown your current environment, and that is amazing. We view these things sometimes as negative. I've been telling myself, I've been beating myself around the fact that I have resistance towards jumping on the microphone. Yet I know that every time that I do, and even on here right now in this moment, all those thoughts have disappeared because right now in this moment, I'm speaking from my heart. I had notes here of stuff I wanted to talk about, but I'm like, you know what? No. Yes, it's important to prepare and to have things, but I'm like, I want to share what's on my heart and what's on my mind and listen to that internal voice that is craving coming out, because that is how my podcast started. And that's what I've stepped away from. It's okay if you've stepping away from your roots, if you've stepping away from alignment. It is never too late to come back. And if anything, the fact that this podcast episode found you, however it found you, however it is that you are listening to this episode, whenever it is that you are listening to this episode, you were meant to hear this. There is a part of you that is in there screaming that it's ready to go back to its roots, or to take everything that you have built, this beautiful foundation of all the work that you've done, all the things you've overcome, and start to build on it, to start to grow from it. We often compare ourselves to other people of thinking, well, I could never improve my life like that. The only difference between people that achieve their dreams and that improve their life is persistency, it's consistency, it's belief, and it's taking action. Small action, 1% action. One little thing, one little curiosity, challenging one thought, taking one step, writing one note, making one phone call, doing a little bit of research, reading a book. What is your next step? What is your next 1%? What is the next thing that you need to do to propel yourself forward towards the person that you keep thinking in your head before you go to bed at night that you want to become? What are the excuses that you keep allowing yourself to reiterate to yourself and you allow them to control you? When do you reach a point where you say no more? You get tired of your excuses. Because I know I'm tired of my excuses. I know I'm tired of getting in my own way and self-sabotaging and beating myself up and being negative and comparing to other people. It's like, you know what? I'm sick of it. I'm ready to truly practice what I preach and do the hard work and show up differently and shift what I'm doing because that feels right for me. The permission you might be needing is that it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. You don't need anybody else's damn approval. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody, but you do need to start proving yourself to yourself. Giving yourself in return all the things that you imagine on a daily basis in your mind and in your consciousness. What do you think 10 years from now version of you is going to think of you? What do they want? What are they craving? Think in the past. What is your childhood version of you see for you, want for you, dream for you? Because they are cheering you on. Your past and future self are cheering you on, but we get caught in this middle ground. And it's confusing, and on a day-to-day basis, it's hard because we feel things in real time. And it's hard when we feel resistance, confusion, we feel stuck, we feel out of alignment, and it's easy to spiral. But you have to make a decision to take one footstep in another direction, and then another one, and knowing that eventually, keyword eventually, it will be worth it. But if you are like me, and you have continued to play the same narrative for yourself, if you've become a victim of your own thoughts, and you're like, boo me, boo my life, everything sucks, everything's resistant, guess what? That's what you're going to see, that's what you're going to attract, that's what you're going to feel. And the reason that I'm sharing this is because I know that I'm not alone in this. And I wish that I had this message playing in my ears to just be like, you can do it. By the way, if no one's told you, you're the only thing getting in your way. It's easy to have money as an excuse. It's easy to have time as an excuse. It's easy to have resources and kids and our partners and all these things as excuses. But we are adaptable people. We can create capacity. Lean on those around you for support if that's what you need. But also know that you have everything within you to figure out all of those problems that you keep telling yourself. If you're sick and tired of something in your life, do something about it. Don't keep telling yourself you're going to do something about it. Actually do it. And maybe step one, which already takes a lot of courage, is just writing it down. Get it out of your system. Talk about it. Get it outside of you. We have all this stuff that just bounces in our body. And I've been beginning to look into different like somatic healing practices and just different energy practices and stuff like that. And I'm like, the more that I notice the energy in my body, I'm like, whoa, it's so heavy. This last weekend was really heavy for me, and I felt like somebody sitting on my chest for the last couple of days, and I'm just like, I need to get it out. And the way that I know that I'm supposed to channel that through me and to get that out is through my voice, through this platform, to encourage other people to do the same thing. And I don't mean that in the way of speaking, but whatever that is for you. Maybe it's art, maybe it's sports, maybe it's education, maybe it's business. Maybe it is through your children. Whatever it is, get it out of you in a way that is healthy and practical and in alignment for you. If you are ready to step off the metaphoric cycle that you have been stuck on, I hope that you can take my hand in this moment and notice yourself. Close your eyes and even just notice yourself stepping away from all those things. Life is a continuous rinse and repeat cycle, where we think we've overcome things and life is good, life is good, life is good, and then boom, we get knocked down, we get stuck, we stay there. Get up quicker this time. Move on quicker this time. Overcome that hurdle faster this time. If you need help, again, reach out to a mental health professional if maybe speaking about things is helpful. Lean on those that you trust and care about. But it's very frustrating to look externally and see everybody feeling stuck in this cycle. Work my 9 to 5 so that I can come home and do the things, and then on the weekends I have a little bit of time, and there's just not many conversations that I have where people are feeling optimistic and joyful and excited. It's hopelessness. We're scared. We feel lost. We feel confused. But the only way that we can begin to shift that as a society, as always, is to start with ourselves. So what is that 1% for you? What is that one thing, that next move, that next domino, that next step in your life that you need to take to begin this process of rewriting your story? Because I've decided to close the chapter on everything up until this point, and I've just kindly put it on the bookshelf, knowing that I can take it out and look at it again at any time. But I've decided to energetically put that away and start anew. Blank slate, a blank page. I forgive myself for all that stuff in the past. I forgive myself for mistakes that I've made. I forgive others for harm that they've posed onto me. I forgive myself for getting myself into situations where things have happened and I've been exposed to things. And I forgive myself for everything that has gotten me to this point. Do you need to forgive yourself in order to move forward? What do you need to let go of to move forward? What is it that's pulling you back every time you leap forward? It's like it boomerangs you backwards. How do we cut ties with that? How do we allow you that capacity to move forward with your life? If it's hard for you to tell yourself, I hope you listen to my words and know that you are so deserving of forgiveness. Forgiving yourself. Forgiving others is important, but me and my partner talked about this a lot this weekend. Have you forgiven yourself for your mistakes? I am someone who is so good at, well, why didn't I do this differently? And why didn't I do that? And blah, blah, blah. And it's like, because you didn't know better at the time. And all you are doing is hurting your present self and that past version of yourself by continuing to hold on to those narratives, those negative narratives that are very low vibe, very low frequency, and are holding you back, again, energetically. Let's work towards letting those go, one at a time. And I know it's heavy, and I know these things are easier said than done, but that's truly what I felt on my heart that I needed to share on here, and that I wanted to speak to all of you guys about. Because if I'm needing that, and you are here and you found your way here, there's a part of me that knows that you needed to hear that too. Know that you are worthy, know that you are loved, know that you are capable, and know that you are no less than any other person on the face of this earth. But until you believe that for yourself, it really doesn't matter what the outside world thinks. Working on that relationship with ourselves, for ourselves. So, thank you guys for tuning into this chaotic episode. It's ironic because it's 2:11 and my brain stretches sometimes seeing things as like a sign and as like reiteration, but I've been seeing the number 2 a lot. And 1 and 1 together is 2, which would mean 2, which again, I know is a stretch for some people, but that's how my brain works, and that gives me peace and happiness, and I love that. And so that to me tells me that this was right, and this feels right, and it feels right in my heart, and that's truly all that matters to me. So I'm sending you guys so much love. I hope that your March is continuing to be phenomenal and amazing. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Thank you for being here from the bottom of my heart. And I'm so excited to chat with you all on Thursday, and prepare yourselves, because RTI is Rewire to Inspire is about to change and pivot, and I know it's for the best, and I'm really excited for it. And I'm so glad to have you here for that journey. And I hope you just know that if you feel like no one cares, I care, and I'm here for you, and I'm so proud of you. So I look forward to chatting with you then. Have an incredible week, you guys. Goodbye.